You've counted every calorie, tried every diet, spent hours in the gym, and still something's missing. You want more than just weight loss. You want your energy back. You want your confidence restored. You want a way of living that doesn't feel like punishment. Welcome to Master Your Metabolism, where we cut through the noise, ditch the fads, and give you a real plan to become the healthiest, strongest version of you. Hosted by our team of expert coaches with proven strategies, science-based tips, and real-life encouragement, not just to help you lose fat, but actually create that lifestyle that you love. You've tried everything. Now, let's try what actually works. This is your turning point. Let's go. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Master Your Metabolism. I am here not only with Calvin, my wonderful husband, but I'm also here with one of our clients, Aleen Rosenheim. Welcome, Aleen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I wanted you to jump on here today. I really always love sharing with people about a client experience because a lot of women that I speak to feel that they're not sure it would work for them. They are not sure about because they've tried so many things in the past, nothing's really worked. And I want to tell your story because I know when we first started, you had told me your story that I thought was amazing and I wanted to share it with everybody, but also kind of share kind of the journey and where we are now. So I want you to tell people a little bit about you and where you were. And growing up, you were an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to share a little bit about that, of who you were, what kind of transpired, and eventually got you to the point that you knew you needed to kind of do something and change.
Sure. Yeah, I was crazy about sports, all kind of sports. I was competing since I was a little girl in school, in high school, and I grew up. My family practiced sport. My mom is gonna turn 90, and she's champion in swimming. She had some world records and national records at her age. Yeah, it's amazing. But the menopause came, and so suddenly in a month I gained like 10 pounds, eating the same. I didn't do nothing much different. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then the whole thing started there. I had trouble and problem keeping up with the diet. I didn't know, I thought that dieting was eating salads and some chicken and things like that, a lot of veggies. So then I met you, and because I was suffering like for 10 years, since my 50, and then right now I'm going to turn 61 this month. So it's 10, 11 years. And I really discovered when I started talking to you that losing weight is not it's not a matter of eating less, it's eating more because you have to fit your body. And I really had no much energy. So the last thing that I tried, it was the Munjaro, the GLP, right? And so I lost like 40 pounds in almost a year. But one day I saw my arm and it was like ding-diling. And I was always very strong. And I said, wow. And I showed Jorge, I told my husband, Jorge, look what happened to me. I lost weight, but I have no strength. And I was waking up tired, sleepy, and I was tired the whole day. And I had really not much energy. And I'm a very busy woman. So it doesn't fit me really very well not having energy. So then I met you, and you completely changed my mind on how I have to eat. I really have to eat in order to nurture my body. And I was really under eating, and I was very scared because I was eating a little more, and then I was gaining weight. And so that's the story.
Yeah. And when we started, because I know that if I tell Calvin that I want to do something, he's like, I don't know about that. Especially, something I think it is just with husbands, they look at it like, and Calvin, you can jump in here. A lot of times it's like, well, is this going to be another one of those things? So I know when you and I talked, you didn't even really know me. You were going by a recommendation of your trainer who we knew, who was also a client, right? So you kind of were a little bought in because you trusted your trainer, right?
Yeah.
But Jorge didn't know me. So I remember we jumped on another call so I could talk to Jorge, and then Jorge was still not 100% on board.
Yeah.
Jorge was kind of thinking this was just something else, right? And wasn't really sure what's going on. So what was it you think that Jorge finally came around and was like, well, maybe this is okay?
I had to use a little of the female,
Persuasion.
persuasion, yeah, a little bit. And really, it all came down to, listen, I was 10 years, I'm been really suffering.
Hmm.
And, I'm all in for the health, really. And I've been trying so many things. And really, Paul make help me because he's been training. I have been seeing results with Paul, and he used your system himself.
Yep. Yep.
So it took a lot. That really
Yep.
helped a lot.
Yeah. He worked with Calvin for a little bit. And
Yeah.
very similar because it's not just women going through perimenopause. Like we also work with men and so forth because a lot of people are under the impression that I just need to cut carbs or I need to
Hmm.
restrict or I need to undereat. And Calvin actually prepped him for a show and did
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
that was
simple.
Paul? Yeah, that was an interesting one. He came and he was actually doing keto and already low calories and no carbs and inflamed like crazy, And we had about 2 months to do this prep. And it was a transition of switching over the fats into carbs and a little bit of carb cycling, and his body just shaped up. So in a lot of cases, it's good to know because in a lot of cases you need to have carbs to actually drop body fat to get the engine revving again.
That is really incredible. I mean, I don't know if I look like a monkey, but I ate so many bananas. I ate bananas in what, 7 weeks. We are in, I don't know.
Well,
It's always
green bananas. Nobody likes green bananas.
nobody likes green. But it is. It's like since we started fueling your body, and that's why I explained, like, you can't just shoot from, like, you were eating significantly under eating to just jump up to your maintenance calories and where you should be. But the same way that your body adapted to the lower calories and figured out how to survive and nothing was changing because your body's like, "Cool, this is the famine is real. This is all that I have." So it just did the best it's could. That's why you had no energy. That's
Hmm.
why you were seeing some of the symptoms. But now all of a sudden it's like, you have told me on your check-ins that you're running around with your grandkids and
Yes.
you have energy
Hmm.
and your body is continuing like you were dropping weight as I was increasing your calories and your body continues to improve. Like looking at the pictures, nobody would believe those pictures that you are going to be 61 years old. Like I can see abs. That's a thing. So, again, it's just proof that the thing you do is a really great job at following instructions. And that is something that I have noticed with clients that I work with. And I know, Calvin, you can kind of jump in, but when you have someone that you can see exactly what the issue is and you give them the recipe of what to do, the person that carries it out is the person that's most successful.
Yeah, many people are asking me, "Oh, wow, you lost weight, you look skinny," or it's not. I don't look like skinny. I look like more fitted, and I have a lot of more energy. And I tell them, I'm in a nutrition plan, and I weigh my food, and but people don't want to follow. Really, it's hard. But if you create a system, and you create a system, and you learn how to do it, it's not that complicated, really.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, in most cases, nutrition can cure most things. I think a lot of people don't realize that, and they don't realize the importance of the balance and the amounts and when to and when not to, and that's a lot of people look at it as excessive or extra or even like an eating disorder, which is actually 180 degrees opposite of that because what it people are they manage their life, they manage their work, everything's, you know, on the calendar, to the T, all this, you have to manage the kids, but then they don't manage the most important thing, which is what they feed into their bodies, which is what's gonna bring them longevity, health, happiness, and I say happiness because when you feel good and you have more energy, you're gonna be a happier person,
That's true. Absolutely. I can relate to that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very much so, and it may be hard in the beginning to kind of follow something when you've never had to follow something, and I think a lot of people are maybe afraid and intimidated by that, but you pick up on it very quick, and you learn, and then you learn how your body works, and once you understand that, now you have the key to what it takes to maintain that for your life.
It's a skill like everything else. It takes time in the beginning to kind of learn the skill.
Uh-huh.
But what you're also learning is what foods work well for you and what fuels you and when to eat. Like we've worked together that, hey, this is what we're going to eat first thing in the morning. This is what we want to eat pre workout. This is what you want to think about with carbohydrates. Again, people are scared of carbohydrates, but this is what fuels you. This is what helps you to recover. So, thinking about utilizing food as the best way to fuel your body, using food in order to nourish your body and not thinking of it like that, eventually will get to a point that you don't have to track your food. But
Hmm.
when you're in a position that I'm trying to lose body fat and I'm trying to learn it, people try intuitive eating. Intuitive eating doesn't work unless your body is healthy and it's working properly and you've learned the skills. Once you have now understood, okay, this is kind of what I eat for breakfast every day. For lunch, I'm either doing this protein or this protein. And this is kind of the carbs that I eat during the day when I'm more active. And then in the evening, I tend to have this type of protein and a veggie or something like that because again you've learned the skills. So what we're doing with you specifically is you are very low calorie, so we're slowly bringing your calories up until I get you to a point that you're at your maintenance calories, and that's where you should be maintaining because now your body has all the nutrients it needs. Now your body is doing it. We get to the top and now you're super lean. You have a lot of food, all the bananas. So then you say, okay, now I get to a point that I kind of know how full I am for my meals. I can look at a plate and I know what the amounts are. Like you're probably already starting to realize I know about the size of the portion of chicken that I need.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
you do it so much, you kind of figure it out. And the only time you need to go back and tracking, it's kind of like with I explain to people like your checkbook. If you're saving to go on a trip, you have to know how much is coming in, how much is going out because it's something out of the ordinary that you need. So you need to plan for it. If you are kind of, hey, I'm putting this much money in the bank, my bills are pretty much the same every month. Like, yeah, eventually to the point that you'll know, hey, I have the same amount of money coming in and going out, so I don't have to like balance the bills as much. So when you have a goal of what you're doing, you want to think of tracking macros as a skill in order to get you there. Once you get there and you're able to build your calories up, now you're at your maintenance calories, you stay full, you feel good, you know what your food looks like. So then you can slowly start pulling back on the tracking. You see that your body weight is staying the same and you're eating a significant amount of food. Cool. Now you're on your own. Now you can fly. Now you have the body that you want and all the bananas. So it's a win.
I was so scared of eating bananas because, in my mind, a banana is fattening. I mean, you gain weight by eating bananas, so yeah.
But you're eating
Well,
not just bananas, like
if
the rice,
all if
potatoes.
all you're eating was bananas, yeah, you would get fat. So, but you gotta have that
Remember, I,
protein
I
too.
would never ever eat a whole banana a day. Sometimes I eat a banana and a half. Sometimes at night I didn't have time to cook, or I do another shake, another banana.
Yeah. So, but that's the point of it. Like you weren't eating much protein when you started. So, also kind of learning about the proteins, learning about what each of the foods are allowed you to say, I got to make a meal. Like, I don't even, at this point, I could tell you, like, these are what the numbers are. And you could say, well, I'm going to pick this protein. I'm going to pick this carb. I'm going to pick this healthy fat because that's what's needed for this meal. And you've now learned the skill and you're getting better at the skill and learning as you're going. So that's why we're getting to that point that you're like, okay, I can kind of do this.
Yeah. And actually, when you do not eat healthy food, food that has nutrients, you feel hungry all the time, or you feel
Mhm.
cravings all the time. So that completely is gone,
Hmm.
Yeah.
completely gone.
Yeah.
Which is
That's a
amazing.
great point. Processed foods. The processed foods, in my opinion, excuse me, in my opinion, processed foods are the core of the issues in our country's health. Because it is exactly what you said, is you have a food that tastes like something, but it's not really that thing. And you might think it tastes like it, but then when you have it, your body knows it's not the real thing because it doesn't have the nutrients. So it's searching for the nutrients. And when it does that, it triggers hunger because it wants you to find the nutrients and to eat more. So processed foods increase hunger. It's part of the issue.
Yep. And also the fact that when you are going through perimenopause or menopause, understanding that you don't have the same hormones, right? So you are more susceptible to things like gut issues and because of the imbalances. And your gut needs certain nutrients in order to keep balance. And when you have a lot of processed foods, it can cause a lot of inflammation. So that's where we see a lot of people that have bloating or constipation and things like that because they're not fueling their body and giving it what it needs. And they're in these like fake foods that your body doesn't even know what it is or how to process it. So
Yeah,
it winds
I
up
was
as you
never a really big fan of processed food. I was always conscious, but even though it was very hard to find the right balance, that's why you guys really helped me a lot. I really appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. I'm so excited. And the fact that, Calvin, I'm not going to tell you this, but
She's told me that she like really wants to walk in like a pair of sparkly heels and a bikini.
Ah,
So maybe
Yeah.
on stage one day.
Yeah, never say never. Tell you what, I mean, you're an athlete, it just makes sense, right?
yeah,
So,
I can compete, but not
Not in
in
a
a
bikini and
bikini,
heels.
not bikini. Give me a racket, give me water ski.
Savlon.
I used to water ski in Peru, and when I was like teenager, I was national championship in slalom, and I used to do tricks as well, you know. So I can do that again. If I can. Yeah, I wish that.
I believe it. Did you say you were 61? Did you say that?
I am.
See,
I'm gonna
I didn't know that. I thought she was younger than but that tells you guys, I mean, that shows you what's possible,
yeah.
and she's still young in health years, and that's just the truth. When somebody is healthy, that's still very young. I have competitors at 70s that are doing national shows, those are big, tough shows, and things are changing a lot these days than what they used to be. I think when we were younger, when we would see somebody in their 50s plus, it was a much different picture, than what we're seeing now. So I love that. And I think there's more education out there. There's more information and guidance. There's still a lot of bad information, but even some of that bad information is still better than the no information that we had 20 years ago, back in the time when they said that fat was bad for you. Remember that in the 90s, actually 80s going into 90s. And
Well,
so
I guess so depends on which fat, right?
it
Yes.
depends on how much fat. That's for a whole nother podcast there to talk about fats.
But it's true. There's so much information, but it's like some bodies do well with certain types of mixes. Some bodies do, you know, better with others. There's different phases that things would work better than others. So I think for you is having the plan that was based on your labs, that we saw what was going on in your body. We looked and see what you were doing, and having that structure is why you've been so successful, because we made that plan customized to what your body needed. And that's why your body's responding so well.
I'm looking forward to do even much better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've just literally just gotten started.
Yeah,
So the fact of what we've seen and the changes that we've seen, and again, better energy, better sleep, like all of the
absolutely.
things are improving. So
Uh-huh.
we know that we're on the right track, and we use that biofeedback, not just the scale. I mean, the scale's impressive. The pictures are way more impressive, but just seeing your journey so far, like we're not even there yet. Like when we get to your maintenance, it's going to be crazy because you're already starting to feel the difference. So that's what's amazing. So I cannot wait. And again, we'll get you back in that water doing slalom. It'll be a thing.
Okay. One of my goals
Hmm.
is to be able to lift myself. And I was even as an athlete, I couldn't. I never liked doing exercise. Really, I would just give me the racket, give me the this, and I just run, but not really exercising. I really was bad in exercising. So when I first started in the gym, I said, I don't like going indoors and so many people. But you get used to it, and I enjoy it now. And it's I see the importance. So I need to lift up my weight. That's what I would like to do.
Oh, got it.
That's one
I'm
of my
excited
goals.
to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have a video of it when she does it. I'm going to let Paul know. But,
While she's holding a banana.
yeah, while she's holding a banana. Correct. Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of us, like many of us, didn't like working out. But when you get to a point that you start realizing that it's not just about like, hey, I'm not going to get bulky. Like, I need to get stronger because that's what's going to keep me living independently and having the strength, because it's a measure of longevity.
Uh-huh.
So you want to get stronger, not for the purpose of I want to do it to get skinny. I'm getting stronger because this is what's necessary so that I can keep living an active life until I'm up into my 70s or 80s. I don't
Well,
want to be that frail little old lady. I want to be that strong woman.
telling you the truth, it was, I had severe pinched nerves in my neck and in my lower back. So
Hmm.
I went through blocking nerves and all kind of things, and it really didn't nothing worked. And I couldn't even bend really to pick up something from the floor. It hurt my body. It hurt everything. And really, that's a change from night to day. Really, absolutely. I am more agile, I am more flexible. It takes me time because of my injury, but it takes me time, but I'm much better. Like from night to day, really. So that's
Yeah.
another part of not only using the nutrients and use them, right, and do exercise.
Yep.
Yeah, the inflammation's coming down. That inflammation can trigger that pain. That's another very important reason for the food, the training, everything, you
I,
know?
I see I see no inflammation right now whatsoever in my body. And before I had my hands or my feet, they were like double of size, really, like a potato, really. But now that they're normal, it's
Yep.
amazing. I feel much better.
But
I
you're good.
didn't have much even stability when I would jump into the shower and get out of the shower because of the water slippery. I didn't have much I thought.
Yep. And it's an aspect that I think most women don't think of because you don't think of like, hey, what's going to happen in the next 20, 30 years? But when you start to feel it, then it starts, oh my gosh, maybe I should do something about it. But you're doing all the things. So you're fueling your body, you're getting your body stronger. And also, again, working on sleep, working on stress, like doing all of the things. So again, the strength training is going to improve your joints. It's going to improve again, your bone density. So all the things that typically start declining with age, you're getting ahead of it and being proactive and making sure that you are healthy and staying strong for your life. So thank you so much for sharing your story, Aileen.
No, it was a
Yeah.
So
pleasure.
sorry Jorge couldn't be with us to share his like how much
Next
he was
time.
against me and he didn't believe me. But I'm glad that you guys got started and I'm so happy that you're a part of our little Masters Fitness family.
Actually, I am teaching him how to eat as well.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. That's
yes,
great.
yes, and then now he's doing the shakes, and I tell him, listen, you didn't need enough protein. You need to eat protein, or you need, I'm telling all the time, and so he's eating more, and he's
Good,
doing it much better at the gym. I really would like him to really do the program with you, so I'm preparing him.
good, good. Well, now
Great
he knows
mind.
it's for reals.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Awesome. All right,
yeah.
Aleen, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
And if you
thank
guys
you.
wouldn't mind sharing a review, we would greatly appreciate it. And if there's any other things you would like us to share on future episode, please put it in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you guys soon. Ciao.
All right. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Master Your Metabolism. If you found value in today's episode, it would mean the world to us if you'd hit subscribe and share this episode with someone who could use a little guidance in their health journey. Ready to take the next step? Head over to www.mastersfitnesscoaching.com and you can book a free call right from the site so we can chat about your goals and how we can help support you. Don't forget to join our Facebook group where we're sharing coaching tips, support, and tricks to help keep you on track and continue making progress. You don't have to do this alone. We're here to walk with you every step of the way. Until next time, stay consistent, stay kind to yourself, and keep mastering your metabolism. Let's do this together.